I'm going to be on your blue side. Hong Kong attitude on the red, matching the team colors. Why not? But again, Liyab very desperately need the victory here if they want to have a probable shot of making it into playoffs. A loss pretty much puts their destiny into the other teams on the table, into their hands, which is never a good position to be in. As we start things off, it's going to be the set being banned out here by Liyab, and Mocha not going to have his Bard as HKA recognize the threat.
Yeah, Mocha has a very stellar performance when it comes to the Bard pick, especially when they go towards having to face top of the tank teams. But now Liyab also having to ban out that Volibear has been a very huge threat, both in different roles, either in the top or maybe in the jungle. So just a lot of flexes so far.
So there you see here, jungle being banned out. Like you mentioned, no Graves available for Doidoi, no Volibear likely to go over to Holo, and also not going to see the Kalista come out for Eminem.
So a lot of the target bans and not a lot on towards the mid lane, as again, it's extremely difficult for me, rather for them to ban out Moonblack, as he has a very wide and interesting champion pool to fall back in towards those traditional mages, or perhaps a little bit of niche picks such as, you know, maybe the Heimer that we will probably not see anymore. But Ashe being removed in the AD carry position, which means it might be the typical Aphelios Ezreal in the bottom side of the map.
We do get that Aphelios on the side of Liyab, so they're the ones saying, all right, we're going to try and make this game go the distance, possibly here. We'll see, though. We've seen the Aphelios start to lose a bit of favor compared to what it was back in spring, where, you know, range started to come out a lot more via that mid lane, so been able to cause a little bit more issues. And with that Ashe being banned out, like you mentioned, likely going to see the Ezreal. We're also going to see that Thresh, though, getting locked in for Wing, one of his go-to pickups.
Yeah, and this enables a lot of that heavy engage, which is primarily why Aphelios might not be able to reach that heavy scaling point, as, again, when we look at the top side of the map, we've seen a lot of popular heavy engage picks, such as the Kennen, such as the Wukong, but now that is quite open still. But Dodo is going to be falling back to his comfort jungle pick, such as that Lee Sin that we saw a lot back in spring.
So we do see there that Lee Sin going to go ahead and get locked in for Doidoi. Been one of his go-to comforts, and they want to try and get pressure from Rex, so that's going to be the option here, getting Twisted Fate locked in for the global pressure.
I am interested to how to see this work, because the Twisted Fate of Rex has been a little bit 50-50, and at the same time, now that we see Moonblack on the Sylas pick, he is able to steal that Destiny and catch up on towards the side lanes if ever Rex pulls the trigger at any point when he reaches level 6.
So there you go. Moonblack going to be trying to follow around when Rex leaves the lane. And it also gives back a little bit some of the pressure over to HKA, and also means Moonblack, if he's wanting to, we saw him before when he was on the Sylas, not afraid to get up in your face when you're laning up against him. So we'll have to see whether or not Rex can keep himself safe during his scaling phase. Meanwhile, though, Hong Kong Attitude going to go ahead and get rid of the Leona from Mocha.
Yeah, they're really trying to constrict Mocha's pool, as well as it does help when it comes to the roaming part to help Doidoi and as well as Rex. So I will not be surprised, as well as the Leona being taken out. And for Liyab, more 80 carries being taken out away from Eminem, so possibly forcing Eminem to be a less impactful pick, such as the Ezreal.
So no Varus, like you mentioned. Ezreal's still available, but I almost feel like Liyab, if they really wanted to, could go ahead and try and lock that out. And then it kind of forces HKA to have to fall him back something like maybe that Senna that we've seen a couple times here and there. Renekton, though, getting banned away from Kanji. Just trying to get rid of something that can be played into the ward, that mid lane, because, again, Kanji did roll swap over, and there you go. 80 carries being the name of the game of the bans for Liyab, is now that forces HKA to have to bring out something like a Senna.
Yeah, like the Senna, like the, well, Kalista is out of the question, and therefore you're cornering Eminem as well into, well, there's still a lot of global impact as well on towards that level 6, but scaling will definitely take a while. Sustain-wise, though, there is definitely a lot on HKA's Eternal, as you count in as well the Sylas and the Senna heal. Liyab, though, what top lane and what support are they going to pick to enable Rex, and as well as to get a comfortable early to mid transition?
seeing here for Liyab. Like you mentioned, what do they want to try and get themselves locked in? For Mocha, we did see this pick before, and has been kind of an answer to the Thresh back in spring, and there it is going to be his Blitzcrank being locked in.
Yeah, it has been the answer to that Thresh pick. You're able to get that hook in towards yourself, if ever a hook does indeed happen, towards the bottom lane of HKA. And now we're going to be seeing another Camille pick from Kanji. It works sometimes, but last time we saw this, he was very heavily starved in the top side of the map.
So there you go, Camille getting locked in. We'll see whether or not Kanji can find a good performance. Did show they were able to at least find some opportunities, but now the response here from Cardis, are we just going to see that carry be carry in the top lane with the Jax being thrown down? It will be the case. Cardis makes the first Jax appearance here in the PCS.
Okay, I'm loving this because this just really spells that HKA is extremely confident in this matchup, even though they've seen how Liyab is able to take over victories against such as Titans like, you know, PSG, Talon, but they're definitely not afraid seeing their state at the moment. Even having to make J-Team sweat a little bit in the second round robin, that means they're confident. Cardis is confident. We're not going to be seeing him on an Ornn this time, not for that 5v5, but definitely a little bit more towards the lane.
So a bit of spice coming out here for our third game of the day for Liyab. This match is very much do or die when it comes to your playoff opportunity. If you're able to find the victory here, it means that you can actually take one more loss. But again, then it comes down to whether or not Berjaya Dragons themselves are able to find a victory. And if you lose this matchup, then it's up to Berjaya Dragons to throw away all the remaining games, and that includes one up against Liyab. For Hong Kong Attitude, though, victory here would allow them to possibly lock in playoffs alongside now possibly Alpha, as then Liyab would not be able to catch up to them. So still some implications here for both of these squads. We go ahead and load on into the Rift for Game 3. I'm going to have to, like, see whether or not we have warranty on our dolly cam. I don't know what's going on today. I'm like, yeah, let's throw it in. Let's get all hyped. Give me that cinematic, you know, T-tours in chat. And then we just kind of just load in, you know, normal. Oh, no skybox editor.
Normal.
Normal League of Legends. Come on. Holy
well, we have an HKA.
Hello?
We have Jax.
Oh, please, Mocha. Is this going to happen?
Are they doing it?
Oh, Mocha, come on. Happening? Oh, he got him over the wall. Cardis is going to get spotted out. He really only has the flash to get over to safety. Gold card is going to land. Dodo goes alongside. Ignite ticking on down. Flashing on forward. First blood over to Rex. And now they're looking to also pick up Hollow as Dodo able to keep himself alive. And that's 2 kills to Liyab.
2-0 in the first 1 to 2 minutes of the game, having to just settle for lane. You know, Liyab just wants that pick and able to take advantage of that Blitzcrank pick.
So not half bad. That's how you do it. Some early cheese coming out from Liyab is going to net them 1,000 gold lead to enter lane phase. And also, you have that onto Rex as well as Doidoi, both of them getting the 1 kill and assist. It allows them, especially in this early mid-game, once they have level 6 on the Twisted Fate, to really take control of the map.
I love this too. I feel like the plan was Kanji to show himself a little bit on the brush. Therefore, you know, usually top laners would dance a little bit. But no, Liyab, take advantage of this Blitzcrank pick. He get 2 kills too. I was expecting it was just 1, but HK wanted to challenge this. Therefore, unfortunately, Polo had to fall as well.
So again, here's your start, all right? You got the early kill on the Lee Sin. Want to see Doidoi make his impact seen on the map, especially in this early game. And it's also going to see whether or not Mocha is going to go for some early roams himself, because he's on something like a Blitzcrank. Didn't get his Bard this time around, especially when you're going up against what is pretty much a non-interactive name. Is Wing down a ball lane, Mocha flashing on forward, but he doesn't have enough damage, and unfortunately, that is going to be enough to get Wing back to safety as Liyab not slowing down. I said non-interactive, but in comes Hollow. Might be wanting to add a little bit of spice to the equation as he does have level 3. And for Liyab, you got to show restraint here. You got to show restraint or else you're going to have a Trundle coming down.
Patience is a virtue here for Hollow.
They're able to get himself over. Back to the tower. as Wing can't get in range for the death sentence, and that will allow Liyab to have to back off.
And here I thought patience was a virtue. It was Holo that made the first move and was a little bit impatient, didn't wait for Mocha to, or didn't wait for Wing to possibly
Mocha.
bait this out.
He doesn't slow down. Hook needs to land. Wing does not have flash available. He's going to get hooked up into the hook, into the knock-up, and Wing gets taken down. Dawn gets his first kill of the game.
The timing couldn't be even more perfect because Holo was prepared for a potential counter gank, for a potential counter engage, but Holo decides to go mid lane instead.
All right, Rex going to get caught out here, has the gold card available, but realizing not he's going to be able to get away without that flash, and Moonblack gets on the board.
And this is the scary part. We did mention that for HKA, their biggest win condition is definitely more heavily made towards Moonblack. If he's able to get ahead, if he's able to snowball, not only having to get kills for himself, but also shutting down the impact of his enemy laner, then things can get easily out of control. And Liyab will have to definitely watch out for that. But so far, so good, though. When it comes to the bot side of the map, Mocha very patient with his hooks, able to wait for Wing to be in the best angle possible, and they're able to net another kill on their end.
And that also gets the Aphelios online. You did see, though, Rex maybe not showing the respect he needs to, considering they did spot out, I believe, Holo for a split second, but nonetheless, he is going to get taken down.
And that is the exchange that HKA desperately needs, as Liyab has garnered 2 kills so far and an extra 1 from that hook from Mocha. But now Dodoy, in the meantime, is very brave, having to just keep going when it comes towards getting camps away from Holo. So that's something this can easily transition to a gank at topside.
I see, though, Dodoy a little bit late to the party. You have an idea where this Jax is. He's going to spot him out along the bush, and he jumps in, able to get the damage from the resonating strike. Picardus able to get himself back to safety with the counter-strike.
Yeah, that's definitely the difficult part, I suppose, if you don't have Kanji to assist with that.
Mocha, he wanted to go for a little bit journey himself. Unfortunately, does not have flash, and Liyab getting caught out here as Mocha not communicating with the rest of the squad, it seems. That's going to be another kill over to Moonblack in mid.
They predicted that well. HKA was lying in wait, hoping for Mocha to path from bot towards mid to make a cheeky play in the mid lane. But unfortunately, HKA first dibs on what to do. Not only do they get a kill, shut down the roam, but also get this Infernal Dragon.
All right, so HKA back on the map, it seems. That's going to be the first dragon of the game going on over. Not what you wanted to do, especially when Doidoy is the one getting that first kill of the game, as well as 2 assists for his name. Without that map pressure, means that first dragon goes over to Hong Kong Attitude and kind of slows down a little bit of the pace here, even though Liyab's still holding on to that 1,400 gold lead.
Yeah, definitely. The ward, the vision control coming from HKA is really doing a lot in favor for themselves. They are able to spot out the roam from Mocha, and possibly, at least though, Liyab does have priority and is able to get more plates, as they definitely have more power. HKA definitely has to respect the hook coming from Mocha.
I like that Dodoy is at least hovering down toward the bot side of the map, as that's going to be the hook coming out, as Wing's going to get caught out himself. Dawn able to get some decent damage, gets away from the death sentence, and is able to keep applying pressure. I would like to see Dodoy come on down here, because they are poking down Wing quite a bit.
And Wing is going to have his flash soon, so any sort of the flash death sentence plays will be available, and as well having to avoid Mocha's hooks. And with that said, Liyab also has to be careful how much CC lock HKA has with that center route and as well as that death sentence. But so far, so good at the bottom side of the map. CS-wise, it's still pretty much even when it comes to the carry, so HKA is still pretty okay at this point of the game.
Continuing with this hard push coming out from Dawn, as Dodoy, he was considering, but he goes back up and is spotted out on a control ward, has to clear that out himself. With that being said, now Holo actually going to get himself a cheeky little invade, is Mocha again going for a roam here. They actually need things to pan out, as they do have level 6 on Rex. You want to try and unlock this TF and make plays around the side lanes.
And yeah, it is already that level 7 mark. Unfortunately, because Moonblack is a Silas, he can just easily hijack Rex's ult. Therefore, Liyab has to make do with Mocha, Dodoy having to take the action in the mid lane instead. I think the biggest problem would be once Moonblack completes his Proto Belt, Rex will be a little bit more vulnerable, as that's another gap closer that Moonblack will have in his arsenal.
Yeah, it's really hard to get away from the Silas once he gets on top of you. We've already seen it happen without that Proto Belt, and also going to get a decent spike in damage. So we really want to see when is Rex going to actually leave this lane. Meanwhile, we haven't mentioned a lot about this top lane. Again, this is kind of your two rookies of the league when it comes to top side. One fresh into the role, the other having played it for a decent amount of time, to my knowledge, before making his pro debut. Kanji not doing too bad in the matchup up against this Jax.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got Cardis playing a lot back with G-Rex Academy, absolutely ecstatic to play with the big boys, and Kanji as well, having a lot of collegiate experience, did have one stint back at Hyperplay, and it was with Dodoi as well, reunited with his jungler. But now we can see Dodoi having a lot of space to work with, and that Rift Herald. Biggest question is, where do they want to funnel it in, as Dawn has been that key player and reliable carry when it comes to the mid to late phases of the game?
Maybe you put it on to Dawn, or do you want to try and put that mid lane so Rex can get, again, unlocked from his lane? Or you want to try and get Kanji ahead? There's a couple different options here for Liyab, and we're still kind of waiting on them to make that call. Because again, once things start to get a little bit more online for HKA, once you start looking at second items, possibly toward that third the third dragon spawn of the game, things can get a bit chaotic for Liyab, so the time is ticking here for Dodo to continue making action around the map.
And we were talking about how Liyab must be able to take in the mid lane. Yes, and as well as, but so far, Liyab has chosen the option to just funnel gold towards Dawn. Again, one of the, most reliable. This might be a die.
There we go.
Still,
they say,
though?
all right, we want to try and get as much as we can on Dawn, but he gets hooked up underneath the tower, and that's all you need to do. In comes the set of ultimate, but it's still not enough damage to take down Dawn, as well as Rex rotating on over, able to get the stun. Dawn wants to turn it back around, has that lifesteal. Moonblack, though, shreds down the Blitzcrank. It will be a trade, though, 1 for 2, but first tower of the game going in favor of Liyab.
And I want to say, Cardis, did he just teleport to the lane? That's why he didn't have teleport at the time. It looked a bit fresh, so it makes me wonder what happened, why that teleport didn't happen for HKA. But in the meantime, Liyab really punishing the aggression. I was a little bit worried because Dawn got hooked there. There was supposed to be a CC lock, but he survived throughout the whole ordeal.
So now the bot side of your map has been opened up by the side of Liyab, as starting to see Cardis is starting to hit pretty hard here onto Kanji, as I think it's just Kanji able to get the interrupt. What actually ended up happening? Oh, he just teleported back into lane. Oh, that's tragic.
That's very tragic. At least our answers, our questions have been answered. But yes, it was this play. Dawn was pretty far forward. The hook kicked in, but there's action.
Wing gets taken on down. Mocha gets his ult off. Eminem here comes in. Oh no! Dawn gets caught out as the collapse comes through from Cardis, as Kanji ended up going back to the base, and that was very much a set play coming out from Hong Kong Attitude right before the spawn of the second dragon.
This is the downside of having a Blitzcrank support, I suppose, as there's not a lot of safety options. It's definitely bringing the action to you.
Yeah, you do right there, but guess what? Moonblack is going to get saved. Oh no! That's not what Doi wanted to do, as Kanji tried to finish him off. Hextech Ultimatum is going to be there, but they still can't take down the Silas, and it's small mistakes like that that will cost Liyab a lot.
Shocked. I am shocked. Moonblack was almost on towards his death there, but unfortunately that kick from Dodoi just saved Moonblack, and that's pretty crucial because the timing couldn't even be more perfect as that is the second dragon for HKA.
And you know what? You mentioned Mocha. He doesn't really have any disengage, really only the go button, and they do take down Wing, but then again the collapse came through for Hong Kong Attitude.
Yeah, and Dawn unfortunately had to take that stun coming from Cardis rather, and not a lot of safety options really. I mean, you do have at least sort of heal from the kick of Dodoi, from maybe if Mocha is in a better position to hook someone far away from you, but unfortunately, as a Jax, not a lot of options to deal with, as he can just dive in and not be punished as much.
You saw there, Dodoi actually went onto his Q before the kick, so he actually didn't get enough damage through. Maybe with that execute it would have been enough, but that's a little unfortunate. It's also a little unfortunate in the fact now that Cardis has found himself his first kill as well as 1 assist and should be able to finish off that Trinity Force here quite shortly, likely on his next back for that Jax to start coming online. And Dawn, you're way too far forward alone. You're playing like you have a Thresh, but the Thresh is on the other team. Dawn gets taken out, and now Liyab started to collapse.
And we were talking about how Dawn is the most consistent member. He's like the pillar, especially to mid to late. It is very uncharacteristic to see him very far forward in the lane. And HKA has so many tools to punish you. They have the Jax, they have the pillar, they have that death sentence, they have Moonblack to just close the gap. And you have a Blitzcrank as your support. And therefore he can't do anything aside from body block, aside from pulling the enemy even nearer towards you.
And that's now the second time that Dawn has been too far forward, to say the very least. It's time to start calling out the mistakes because you were the Aphelios that got ahead in lane. You got turret plates. You are good to go into the mid portion of this game. But now that gold lead is starting to dwindle. It's been mainly the fact that Rex is playing on Twisted Fate, that they have an extra 500 in their back pocket, and HKA have pretty much equaled out this game.
Yeah. And the fact that, again, we were talking about the win condition of HKA, that their win condition is Moonblack. Look at his score, 5-1-2 on the Silas. This is just helping propel HKA's win condition. And now Rex, I'm a little bit worried as he might be the next one to be collapsed on.
Rex, we've seen this before. He has his ultimate available, but there's no vision. There's nothing. There was even pings coming out, and Rex, once again, a super late TP. Don't even TP up there, Kanji. There's nothing to gain. And there you go, Rex getting caught out.
I mean, we can say the same thing for HKA, but is Liyab going for this? Okay.
Hard too, because again, they are still that tower that wasn't taken when they were laning up against Cardis, and Rex, he's looking like Rocky from Nova. No ward coverage, and looking a bit like Kurd. Back when they had Kurd on the roster, would highly push up through the lane with absolutely no vision control, and that has been a common mistake that has come out from Liyab, and an easy thing that teams use and gets them back into these matches that they have no reason being in, as now Blitzcrank is going to walk up. Moonblack gets again that quick knock-up, gets a bit of damage. The reset comes out through. 3-man kick, though, coming out from Doidoi. That's the turnaround you need. Hextech ultimatum. Wakanji ends up throwing it onto the Jax, and that's not where you need. Dawn doesn't have the right guns for a team fight. That's another 2 kills over to Hong Kong Attitude.
That could have been perfect. We saw a lot of the key members from HKA were practically low. A 3-man kick, a knock-up, but unfortunately, there was no follow-up because Dawn was far away, not in the best position as well to just join in the fight.
And just like that, Hong Kong Attitude now equal out the gold total between the two teams. Rift Herald in hand as well, and also a turret taken down to open up their turret number. And this early game, it was going perfect for Liyab. You started to see people, go good. Get 2 kills at level 1. That should be an easy early mid game that you can stall battle out of control. But then ward coverage and then team fight execution coming back to bite them.
Yeah, it looked very perfect. It looked like a best transition towards future objective fights such as this. And unfortunately, again, Dawn was not in the position to follow up with that kick. Therefore, if Rex dies, if Kanji dies, then you gotta pull away, you gotta retreat. There's nothing else you can do.
And we mentioned Moonblack. 100% kill participation once again. This team plays via their mid laner. And now he is 7-1-3 on a Silas. That has one of the most disgusting mid-game spikes in the game. You're getting yourselves into a bit of a pickle here if you're a Liyab fan.
It looked great. Liyab is able to get a dive earlier on, is able to get more kills, but it all went to shambles in the mid lane. And now for Liyab, are they equipped to take this on? They're going in.
Getting hooked. Descends is going to be there. Q lands. He's late to the party. He gets himself back to safety with the safeguard. Kanji nearby on the wall. Unfortunately, though, it's not going to happen. And now Mountain Soul is available for Hong Kong Attitude on the next spawn. Which, again, You had Rex, you have Doidoi that were able to get the kills early. This looks so good for this team. And now, again, Mocha gets another hook. Stopwatch, though, comes out from Wing. He's able to, again, slow down the pace. They wanted to go for a fight when Moonblack is in top side. Cardis, though, looking for a flank. Kanji, though, might get caught out himself.
And for now, Liyab is able to take a breather, but they will not take a breather anytime soon, as that is already soul point for HKA in the next 4 minutes. This is absolutely devastating. Yes, because they had the lead, they had a good way to transition Dawn to mid to late, but the biggest problem is the lack of peel from the side of Liyab. And especially that they didn't utilize Rex as much during the laning phase as well to shut down, especially top side when Cardis right now is 2-on-2, Triforce is already completed. It's looking very, very dire and a good setup for HKA to just most likely get the Baron later, get that get that soul later, and possibly even finish the game.
Oh boy. It's a rough split if you are a Liyab fan. Unfortunately now, the objectives starting to go more and more in the favor of Hong Kong Attitude. Like we mentioned, Mountain Soul Point on the next spawn. And we said in this early game, hey, you're supposed to have Rex, you're supposed to have Doido, you're supposed to be making plays in the side lane. We saw it once, we didn't see anything else. Especially when you're going up, say, against a Senna Thresh, like that should be a lane that gets dove non-stop in the early game. We just didn't see it happen. And there's always executional issues when it comes to Liyab.
Yeah, there were so many things that could have gone smoothly, like the Dragon take earlier. But for now, at least, when we look at what else can Liyab do, they can still utilize Twisted Fate by putting Kanji on the side lanes. And if Cardis challenges Kanji, then that's a time where Rex and Dodoi is able to strike, and that's the reason why they're positioned this way. But it's taken a while.
At least it's a change of pace, because usually Rex is split pushing himself on the other side of the map. See though, Cardis might get caught out, realizing, hey, I got some people starting to surround me. Just goes back to the lane. That Jax though is going to start coming online, and that is a very scary prospect in the back of your mind when you have a Camille with that. Again, looking to sneak in auto attacks, and you know what? Jax doesn't really care what you do. Destiny's even popped to go 2 feet. Huh? Rex?
They were trying to... Actually, no. They had information where the rest of HKA is, that they were in the mid lane.
I have questions. I don't think I'm ever going to get the answer. Mocha considering going for a play, but his ult gets stolen immediately. That dissuades Liyab from going through, as that's now a 10-stack Mage Eyes on Moonblack. And back we go into the ARAM mid that Liyab are letting HKA get away with. You can just see that damage that comes out. Mocha down to half health. Rex got to be careful. He's going to get hooked if he's not careful himself. Slow comes on through. And that is Moonblack 1v2ing Dawn, and Mocha gets himself back over to safety. Will get taken on down. Rex gets a massive shutdown. And in the end, Hong Kong Attitude remain in control of the bot side jungle.
Okay, so Moonblack loses his stacks, but they actually get a cash in as well of gold on towards whoever eliminated Moonblack over there in that fight. But it still shows how much HKA has control over Liyab's jungle. There's so much wards, there's so much coverage, and Liyab has no choice but to seek refuge at the top portion of the map in the meantime, as HKA is still pretty much sticking around in that portion of the map.
The thing that drives me crazy here now is we have, again, Dragon coming up in 40. Of our teams, when it comes to Dragon takes at 15 minutes, these are the 2 worst teams in the league. Yet Liyab is technically the one above them when it comes to the actual Dragon control, and HK was able to get all 3 because we just never saw a contest. We never saw Liyab play around their objectives. They're supposed to be the ones that were able to rotate. It just did not happen, and now Dodoi gets caught out in his jungle 10 seconds before a Dragon spawn, and if you're Liyab, you need to turn this fight. You need it to go well, or you will lose soul without a doubt. Rex is going to get rooted down. He has to go back into his stopwatch, trying to get himself back to safety, has the flash, gets himself on over to the pit. Descends connects only onto the Dragon. Liyab and HKA swap sides of the map. But guess what? You have that sustain that comes out from the Senna. Dodoy wants to start this off, but guess what? It is up to Dodoy to seal this away, or honestly, this game may be in the coffin for Liyab. If Soul Point goes in favor of Hong Kong Attitude, Dragon will reset. Both teams hesitant to take a fight.
Everybody else is pretty much low from Liyab.
Mocha trying to go
that
for
is
the
a
hook.
flash.
Flash off, but guess who's looking for a flank? Cardis on this Jax, now 3,000 health. Dodoy wanting to get closer and closer. Moonblack onto the backside, he gets all that damage from the Blitzcrank ultimate, and there you go. Your two main carries that got on the board, they're down in the ground, Liyab, and once again, Hong Kong Attitude take back the fight. 4 members down for Liyab, Soul in pocket, and the game handily in control.
Moonblack has also acquired back to stacks 10-5. He came out strong. He came up on top, and unfortunately, Liyab has to stare at their gray screens as HKA move towards the Baron.
And unfortunately, Liyab, you had the chance, you had the opportunity, but it goes. And simply that. And the way this game is going, it looks like a Hong Kong Attitude victory. And it dials back now to the fact that Liyab's destiny to make playoffs is no longer in their hands if HKA close this game out in their favor.
And it's starting to look like that is going to be the case, because HKA is in such a huge lead at the moment. And again, let's take a look at what happened. Hard is still hoping to get that flank, so it is a temporary 4v5, but you know, Kanji has been rooted. There's the silence coming in from Moonblack as he has been constantly stealing the Blitzcrank ult time and time again, and the fact that everyone else is pretty much melee range, it has proved to hold much value if Moonblack just dives in and there's going to be no response.
Now Baron buff in hand. 2.5 minutes for Hong Kong Attitude to start taking down towers and then snowballing this game out of control. As, my lord, Moonblack on the silence. 10-2-5. Still 100% kill participation from the mid lane of HKA. Playing through their star player in mid. It's panned out well. Cardis is also online. Death Stance completed alongside that Trinity Force. Kanji is stuck in a side lane. Mocha gets a hook, but are they able to get a kill? Yes, they can. Eminem caught out, but that isn't even the major threat of Hong Kong Attitude. In comes Rex. Maybe get a little bit too close to the action. He's going to get Death Ends immediately. Still no one else, though, from Hong Kong Attitude as they were looking for a play on the bot side of the map instead.
Okay, good thing Kanji was in the bottom side of the map because they prevented a constant push from Cardis and as well as from Moonblack. Moonblack not present, therefore Liyab will have a bigger chance when they start a skirmish, when they start a fight. But once Moonblack is there, they gotta be careful.
It starts off here. Mocha able to get a good pick, and that is the power of a Blitzcrank pick, is the fact that you could always turn the game on its head if one hook lands during a late game team fight or a late game skirmish before anything pops out. That is kind of a luck of the draw that could go in favor of Liyab the later this game goes, but it's never something you want to rely on.
Yeah, absolutely. They can still take advantage of the fact that as the game progresses, death timers are going to be very unforgiving. If you do manage to get a sneaky pick and replicate that, then yes, you can, take advantage of the temporary 4v5. And at the end of the day, HKA still does have that Baron, but at least it slows down the pace for HKA, for Liyab to breathe a little bit more.
Now Rex is forced to have to deal with this push that's going to come out through top as a second tier tower. That's going to fall. Teleport comes in from Moonblack. That's enough to dissuade any attempt from Liyab. That's the 4th tower taken here by Hong Kong Attitude. Going to go ahead for a quick reset. Baron buff is going to dissipate in about 10 seconds. Not the most heavy siege coming out from Hong Kong Attitude. They very much are a team that needs to wipe Liyab. They want to get the push in. But the threat of a dive was enough to at least secure them a tower or two.
Yeah, definitely. Eminem having to catch off. Eminem is able to slow HKA down, but Liyab still, just as you mentioned, has lost a bit of objectives off of the map, and as well as their tower in the bottom side almost falling down. If they lose a fight, if the wave is set, HKA can perfectly just set up for that and maybe push into an inhibitor. Now for HKA, though, Elder is going to be in the horizon, and that is one of the last moments that we could possibly see from Liyab if they can turn it around, maybe a steal. But Moonblack is just huge at the moment.
Yeah, and he keeps stealing a Blitzcrank ultimate that is just able to devastate the back line of Liyab if he's able to get there with his chains. And Mocha, almost getting caught out himself once again here on the Blitzcrank, gets that hook out. Don't want to bring the Silas closer to you, but I would go against that. As we're seeing the default come out from Liyab, have Rex in the side lane trying to push, but guess what? Your mid lane is just going to get sieged upon here from the side of HKA.
What's good still here for Liyab is that HKA still has a bunch of respect for Dawn, as he's still having at least Runans, that Infinity Edge, and as well as the Executioners to sort of dismantle the heal from Moonblack just a little bit. And now Rex responds with a nice push, and I think Liyab is still having a bit of solid ground, even though Moonblack is just a huge monster at the moment.
Backs are going to come out. Rex is able to at least get some gold back into his back pocket. He's also going to be going in for what I believe is going to be a Rabadon's finish on those two needlessly large rods, which should allow him to get a decent spike of damage coming out of this Twisted Fate. Liyab do need it. But here we go, 20 seconds on Elder, and look at the vision control already set up by Hong Kong Attitude as Liyab, they got to start working their way through.
Yeah, they have to go through all of that vision from HKA before they even reach the Elder. And if they need to challenge, then they're just going to be open for a possible hook from Wing, and they're going to be losing one member or possibly an important summoner spell when they come contest that Elder. And of course, HKA hoping to get Dodoy, but he does have Guardian Angel at least to stall it out once that pops off.
Here we go, though. Hong Kong Attitude. Elder Drake is started. Now up to Liyab to make a decision. Up to Doidoy to find a steal. Up to Mocha to not get caught. As again, no vision coming out from Liyab. Now Destiny is popped by Rex just to see what's going on. Rex onto that front side. Wants to try and lead it. A bit scary himself. A nice hook though comes out from Wing, but here comes the collapse from the side of Hong Kong Attitude and Moonblack onto the backside. Able to find himself the kills. Doidoy goes into stasis, but it's an absolute bloodbath, and the blood is smeared from Liyab as again Hong Kong Attitude find multiple members, and it's a triple kill for Wing.
Look at that, that's massive, and they even just stopped pursuing the Rift Hair, or rather the Elder Drake for Rex's blood.
Rex, unfortunately, Moonblack is hungry today. He's looking for the 20th kill participation. He's hiding inside the brush. It doesn't matter. A 12-8 scoreline for Moonblack in the mid lane. An Elder buff now likely in favor of Hong Kong Attitude.
There's a lot of death timers, there's a lot of gray screens on towards the upside. HKA has no way of missing this Elder Drake, even having more control over the next objective, which is that Baron buff. And they can just make their way, skedoodle away over there as Liyab, again, unfortunately, Moonblack is just too strong at the moment.
Yeah, it's like, who's going to deal with this Silas? The fact now he has 25 stacks on the Magi's full build, by the way, with Void Staff. It's just, I don't see a way Liyab are coming back into this outside of Mocha making a miracle hook. Unfortunately, the Thresh isn't your target you're needing to get.
The Thresh isn't your target. You've got Eminem with such thick shields, and once the static field enters the fight in the form of Moonblack having to steal Blitzcrank ult time and time again, there is literally zero way for Liyab to be able to fight back, as HKA now, shredding down this Baron, and Liyab has to defend another reign of Baron empowered minions.
And with Elder buff also still online here for Hong Kong Attitude, they can look for the end, they can look for the force. Kanji's in a side lane trying to push what he can, still on this Camille. And unfortunately, we go back. We needed hero plays to come out of this squad. We needed Mocha to find a hook to try and turn back a fight. We needed Doidoy to steal the objective, but you're putting too much weight on these players' shoulders. Oh my lord. I can't say it right now. On their back.
Yes.
And
on their back. Yeah, it's been very tough for Liyab, and now they just have to play defense.
And unfortunately, it gets to the point where this has been a common theme from Liyab, a common recurring trend where someone has to be a hero, someone has to be a play, instead of the team just working together, just finding what works well for them. Now Hong Kong Attitude break open to the base. Moonblack is going to push in top. Minions crashing in, and time running out here for Liyab. And unfortunately, the 8,000 gold lead and the instant burst onto Mocha makes it a 5v4 stand, where Dawn has to make a play. Moonlight Vigil comes out. He does absolutely no damage to the opposing squad of Hong Kong Attitude. Rex is trying to soak up minions in mid to get his CS number up higher, but guess what? HKA, they don't care about CS, they care about kills, they care about the bodies that they're putting back into the ground, and with that, the Nexus will fall, and so may the chances of Liyab making playoffs.
And when we look back at spring, HKA has crushed Liyab's playoff streams, and it looks like they're trying to do it again as they're making Liyab's chances for summer a little bit more dimmer.
Liyab. We come back to the situation of early games they are able to get control of. Not necessarily, okay, maybe not get control of, but they're able to get advantages. And we just don't see this team ever push an advantage after they get an easy 2 kills. They say, all right, cool, 2 kills on top. The fact you had 1,000 gold lead heading into lane phase, like, abuse that. We want to see Rex, we want to see Doi Doi, level 6, make action in the side lane, punish this Senna, but it just doesn't happen.
And the sad thing about, having to punish Senna, yes, that worked out great. Especially you lock in Anathelios. They didn't really play it to scaling. They played it to just get ahead, get more damage input in towards the lane versus the Senna. Because based on their composition, it's not a protect the Aphelios composition. It's basically trying to get ahead and utilize Rex, but we never saw that. While we did see them get an early game lead, they lost it after so many errors when it comes to just, Dawn being very forward into the lane, and just minimal mistakes such as kicks here and there that are,
Are you angry?
Like
Are you feeling the mold?
I'm a little angry.
Have you feel the mold? You feel the Opal energy? Because this is something that, like, we play nice with Liyab, I feel like. We give them the benefit of the doubt that they are still improving. But when you keep these mistakes where you're supposed to get advantages, it just doesn't happen. It falls down to lack of vision, lack of map awareness, lack of control when you're supposed to get that in the early game.
And they did get it. But yes, it just, HK is able to find an opportunity to take advantage of these mistakes. And look at that. We said HK's win condition is getting Moonblack ahead. Look what happened. 13, 2, 9, 100% kill participation. This guy is a monster.
Yeah, the guy's a monster. And we mentioned if Moonblack gets ahead, easy time, easy days for Hong Kong Attitude, as they are able to take down Liyab Esports. Now Liyab only have 3 games remaining. It also means that HK no longer in range of being caught out by Liyab. That also means, too, if you are an Alpha Esports fan, that Alpha and Hong Kong Attitude both just locked in their playoff slot because of this victory from Hong Kong Attitude. And now it's Nova Esports and Brajaya Dragons, which Brajaya, they're kind of that one faint hope that Liyab may be able to make it into playoffs. So it requires a miracle with them killing down the God Killers. Let's see though, we're going to go ahead and take a quick interview with Wade.
OK， 那我们这里的话有几个问题想要来问你。那这里的话，贾克斯是本季的第1次出场，那一开始怎么会蹲在上路的那个三角草丛里面？就是会不会是一开始的打野套路，还是说怎么样在那个位置会被机器人盲视野探草的时候抓到呢？
So it is the first time of see Jack in this season, but it was blind caught by Blitzcrank in the top side tri-bush area in the beginning of the game. So what happened there?
就我们一开始没有提醒到我们上路机器人有可能在那些龙池的地方可能出钩吧，因为我们现在很少遇到机器人了，所以我们那时候就我们失误吧，就没有沟通好，然后他后面也说抱歉，我们觉得没有关系，也是可以赢的。
So we forgot to tell our top laner that Blitzcrank is going to be maybe it will be around the Baron pit area to catch our top lane. So I think it is because that we didn't have good communication, but we apologized to him and we're okay with it.
那另外一个问题就是， 你们在夏季赛刚开始的时候，其实都是以 Tech 为你们的主战辅助出赛，但是在最近经过一波比较低潮之后，又把你调回了先发，然后在目前取得了2连胜嘛。你觉得你跟 Tech 的你自己相比，你觉得怎么样？然后你觉得对自己最近上场的表现又有怎么样的评价？
So recently we see you play instead of Tech, your other support player playing in the game. So how is he doing in the scrims and what do you think you and him compare?
我觉得我跟他的差别应该在于，我的操作比较好吧，然后可能大局观会做得比较好，因为我毕竟上一季也有在打吧。他其实现在我们也有一起团练的，其实他团练的状况也还不错，就看教练怎么安排吧。可能哪一天我比较烂就被送下去了。
So I think our difference is that I'm better at macro and I'm better at techniques, and he's doing pretty well in the scrim. So it really depends on what the coach decides. If he's better at a certain point, we're probably gonna be switching off.
OK， 那我们感谢 Win 接受我们采访，也恭喜 HKA 在这一次的一个比赛获得胜利。那也希望你们在接下来比赛可以再多加油。你刚刚好像憋着很多话想说。
让我是一个。
Well, you saw there, a little bit of miscommunication even coming out of Hong Kong Attitude, and can't even take advantage of that. But of course, that is going to be the end of our third game today. And for Liyab, again, it is a very, very slim chance of making it into playoffs. But for Hong Kong Attitude Alpha, they get to breathe a sigh of relief when it comes to their adventure. And now we take a quick break, and we're going to come back to our game of the day. Of course, it's going to be AHQ taking on PSG Talon. And we'll see whether or not PSG can remain at the top of their game, looking for that perfect Super Week, and whether or not HQ can actually reclaim the first seed overall in the standings after this.
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.